Welcome to Yo-11 Minutes. Yo-11 Minutes. Mostly Vegas, no BS casino experience, and more. Michael Traeger is a casino and travel loyalty expert who also helps people turn their travel dreams into reality. And now, Michael Traeger. How's it going, Michael?
It's going great. It's been good. I find travel can be very frustrating sometimes because people are annoying. I don't know if you find this, but humans can be very annoying. But
Oh yeah.
but other than that, it's fine. I think one of my biggest gripes is a lot of times people ask for assistance on things, but they only give me half the story. Have you ever had that happen in your life where someone asks you for help on something, but they don't tell you the whole story, and then you go to help them, and then you find out pieces of the story as you're going along, and it just drives you absolutely insane. But
Yes.
other than that, life is great.
Yes, I've experienced that. It's very, very, very frustrating.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, well, we got some news for today, so let's get on with the news and views. Rod Stewart has announced the final shows of his 13-year residency at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace. Rod Stewart The Hits will conclude on its 200th show in the summer of 2024, with 7 concerts scheduled for July 24th through August 7th of 2024. Since its debut in 2011, the rock icon has delivered an arena-sized concert and an intimate concert experience that's exclusive to Las Vegas audiences, with no seat more than 145 feet from the stage. Rod Stewart The Hits features chart-topping hits spanning Stewart's over 5-decade career. The setlist includes songs like You Wear It Well, Maggie May, Do You Think I'm Sexy, The First Cut is the Deepest, Tonight's the Night, Every Picture Tells a Story, Infatuation, and Forever Young. The final 7 shows are scheduled for the 24th, 26th, 27th, and 31st of July 2024, and the 2nd, 3rd, and 7th of August 2024. That's going to do it for the news, and now for the views. Michael, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, wow. Final shows of a 13-year residency. Amazing. On top of the fact that Rod Stewart is going to be 79 years old next year. And on top of that, he still has great fucking hair.
You know, you really have to think about great hair. Like with Win, it was great hair. With Rod Stewart, it's great hair. I think as long as there's someone in your life with great hair, you'll always be happy.
You know what it is? I'm just worried. Like I really hope that I can live as long as these guys, and I hope I still have my hair.
You and I both, man.
That's
You and I both.
but 78 years old. I have a question for you. Did you find when you were compiling for this news story? So this is the his final shows of his 13-year residency. But does that mean like he's done now, or he's sort of like on hiatus, or is it sort of unsure?
Well, I remember 13 years ago, he originally said that he didn't want to do a Vegas residency because that's where stars go to die. But then he ended up doing a Vegas residency. And I think maybe he's going to be 79. Maybe he's just like, I'm done with this. You know, maybe he just wants to, maybe he'll tour, you know, maybe he'll do like intimate setting shows, or maybe he'll just hang it up. I mean, I figure at some point he's got to record a Christmas album, because isn't that the usual thing, right? You're an artist, you're very popular, and then like, you know, when your popularity fades, you know, 10 to 15 years after you first emerge, you start putting out Christmas albums. I mean, it worked for Sarah McLachlan and everybody else. So maybe there'll be a very Rod Christmas or something, like, you know, just.
You know what? Are you sure there isn't already? Or maybe that was Neil Diamond who did it. Not that Neil Diamond has much relationship to Rod Stewart. You know what? You know who I always think of when I think of Rod Stewart? I always also think of Blondie, Debbie Harry. Like that's the generation I think of. For some reason, if you say Rod Stewart to me, the next person I think of is Blondie. I don't know. I don't know why. Is that weird? I mean, they just sort of relate to me, like in like genre or time period or whatever. And I
Yeah.
love Debbie Harry.
I
think
think
she's
I
so
think
awesome.
they both reached like their major popularity at around the same time. I was a kid, but I remember Blondie being somewhat controversial. Like, and then Madonna happened, and then Madonna was controversial, and then go on and go on. Where was it? Britney Spears, and then Lady Gaga. So it seems like every 10 years, there's always that someone. Alanis Morissette. How can I forget Alanis Morissette? Oh my God. And so it seems like every 10 years is someone that pushes the envelope just a bit further than their predecessor.
Well, don't get me started on Madonna because I was obsessed with her. I was a teenager then, and Madonna was just like, she was my everything.
I always thought that Madonna was a tease. And with that, it is time for the tease. Take it away, Michael.
Okay, yes. So the tease is, are you ready for 2024? Are you planning your casino comp love for 2024? And I'm thinking that now is a great time to think about what you're going to be doing in 2024 with regard to casino loyalty and casino loyalty programs, because I know a lot of people who listen and watch this show love their casino loyalty. So my tips and tricks for 2024: try not to focus on more than 2 casino loyalty programs, because most humans cannot deal with more than 2 programs and don't have the bankroll for it. It's also great to consolidate your play in only 1 or 2 programs. Look at your offers. Start looking at your offers. Start to think about when you want to go next year. Start to think about the really busy periods. Pay special attention to times like March Madness, Memorial Day. And if those comp rooms are available on the calendar and those offers are available, book out those dates now, because the amazing things about casino comp offers is that most of them you can cancel 72 hours prior. So you should book now and ask questions later. I am going to make a caveat here. This is for like the average player, like the normal level players. Obviously, people who play a lot and have really good relationships with their hosts are always going to be able to jam them in whenever they want to go. But for other people, you really, to optimize, you need to pay attention, because you might be able to grab those rooms for March Madness now at comp or at heavily reduced prices. And if you don't think to look at your calendar until February, those rooms might be gone or much more expensive. On that side, also book those extra rooms for your friends. So maybe you do concentrate on 2 loyalty programs. Book the extra Caesars room for your friend if you're coming during March Madness and staying at Cosmo, just in case, because you don't know what friends might be coming. So you might as well grab them while they're there, as long as you can cancel them, and in most cases you can. You're going to want to go into 2024 thinking about your status and thinking about multiplier and multiplier promotions. You're going to want to pay a lot of attention to that, because those promotions can really be great on spearheading your status for the future years, especially programs like Caesars Rewards. So pay a lot of attention to that. Don't be suckered into doing too many trips. I do this to myself all the time, so I'm guilty of it. But don't do too many trips. I mean, try to balance it somewhat. Believe me, it's better for your life. And also, while you're grabbing all these rooms and things, think about how you're going to do your airfare. A great time to get award tickets is a few months before. Award availability tends to be pretty good, usually 3 to 6 months before, 7 months before. So while you're grabbing those rooms for March Madness, think, hey, can I finally use those fucking Delta points I can never use for anything, and get an award ticket? Look at that stuff. Most of the time, award tickets are fully refundable and redepositable, so that is something else to keep in mind. And even booking airline tickets, not that risky today, because most airline tickets can be canceled and vouchered, which means you can use them as a future credit. And the final tip is, you need to keep track of this. You need to figure a way to keep track of this stuff. You need to put all these trips that you're going to book speculatively on your calendar. You need to set alerts to be looking at those trips. You need to make sure that you have your airfare covered for those trips, or if your friends are coming. So you need to figure out a great organized way to do it. I use a combination of my calendar and Evernote, and that seems to work pretty well for me. So those are all my tips. How about you? How about you, Mavestra? Does that sound good? Does that sound like good advice for 2024?
That does sound like good advice for 2024. I mean, I don't do the loyalty thing at all whatsoever, but if I did, I would definitely be following those steps for sure. Like, you know me, I don't even use players cards. They're just too
I know we're like the polar opposite of the world. Like, that's but you know what? You got to do what works for you. And a lot of times, and I haven't twisted your arm yet, I think that a lot of times you can do, it's not about being perfect. It's not about doing everything like to this optimal OCD level. It's about doing things a little better than you did the year before.
That I could actually digest. I like that. Do it better than I did last year. Absolutely. Before we get going, do you have any closing remarks? What's on your mind?
Uh, it's still a great. I love it when I say You're not supposed to do that. That's like podcast video thing. You're never supposed to say that. But one of the great things I was going to say is there's still a lot of time to book trips for the end of the year. Think about if you want to escape from your family and going to Vegas, especially if you want to escape from your family. I've said that 3 times already. Going to Vegas during Christmas is a great thing to do every once in a while. Going to casinos during Christmas or Thanksgiving. So you might want to think about that. And the run up to New Year's Eve in Vegas usually has some very good room rates between, say, about the 20th and 21st of December up until around the 29th of December. It's a really reasonable time to get to Vegas. Also, a lot of comp rooms are usually available during that period. So it is a good time to escape. And sometimes you could escape right after Christmas. But just that's something to keep in mind. And now would be a great time to look into that.
All right, check out Vegas for the holidays if you want to escape from your family, as Michael Mason Trigger just put it. So be sure, if you're trying to escape from your family, that's the place to go. I gotta tell you, I love Vegas around the holidays. Usually December 2nd is when the MGM side of things starts to launch all their holiday stuff. The Bellagio Conservatory is supposed to be done by the 2nd, but make it the 4th. They usually run a little bit late, I've noticed. But the skating rink at the Cosmopolitan is open, and they've got all sorts of things going on the MGM side of things. I'll probably have a rundown of holiday things to do in a future episode.
Ooh,
all right.
I love that. It's a great thing. Like once you get through Thanksgiving and you realize how much you dislike being with your entire family at Thanksgiving, then you run into Black Friday and then you can book your great Vegas trip.
And the prices are very low, especially starting around the second week of December. Is usually when I see the prices plummet. So maybe I'll do like a weekend staycation at Bellagio or something cute like that. I don't know. We'll see.
That sounds good. But I half joke, but I think every once in a while it is good to mix it up. And Vegas is a really cool place to be at Christmas, like you said. So something to think about. I mean, especially if you can reevaluate after Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. That's going to do it for this episode. If you're listening to the audio podcast, just a reminder that you can see the video version on YouTube via our YouTube channel, TravelZork. Luxury travel booking, TravelZork Travel. Visit us at TravelZorkTravel.com to plan your next amazing vacation. And please join the conversation on social media. You can easily find us. All social platforms are at TravelZork. We'll see you next time.